Hey Stampin', welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachel. Fun Fold Friday. Today we're going to be making a double fold window card using the Painted Poppy stamp set. Go ahead and grab your supplies and hold while I flip. All right. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, it's not blurry. Be sure to leave a comment during this live and let me know that you're here. I won't be able to see your comments, but I'll check them afterwards. And one lucky winner will get the card that we made today in the video. So be sure to comment and tell me what you think. All right, the card we are making, I like to call it a double fold window card. And let me show you why. Has this window right here that we've cut out through our die cutting machine. And then it also opens once. And then it opens twice. So you have that double fold in the card. It's really fun and pretty easy to make. So let me show you how and the supplies that we used. I used the Painted Poppy stamp set today. And also this one has dies that go along with it that I use as well. I use this die right here. It's a bigger of the label shape here. And then I also used from the Peaceful Moments. And we're using the congratulations. Let me show you the items and the measurements. So whenever we do card making, I always run everything through my die cutting machine, and then I stamp, and then I adhere. So that's the order we are going to go in today. All right, so let me show you our pieces. We're going to start with this Magenta Madness, which is one of the new in colors from Stampin' Up. And this is actually our card base. We did something similar to our single window card a couple weeks ago. And we just used a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 for our card base. And then we have our first fold. Measurements are different. So let me tell you those. We have 5 1/4 now, made a little smaller, and by 8, and I scored it at 4. Then our measurements for this one is 5 now, and 7 1/2 scored at 3 3/4. I have all those measurements written down on my blog, so be sure to check those out if you didn't catch them today. I also have these cute little strips that we'll be using. Both are 4 1/4, and this one's by 7/8. And this one is by 1/2 inch for its width. All right. And you can see I've already stamped this one to save us a little bit of time today. Hope you guys can see that. All right. I'll see if I can focus. All right. And I've already ran this part through my die cutting machine using that frame for the window. So that part's done, and I have all my measurements and everything cut. So we are going to stamp next. My suggestion is to stamp the inside of this one first. So what we're going to do is grab our Night of Navy, and we're going to grab our awesome little flowers here. We're going to ink it up, and we're just going to put that in the bottom corner. And I have it so it's not going to be as tall as the image. There we go. So there's that one. And then we need to now glue this piece on to this one. I'm going to use our Tombow today because you know I love that wiggle. I've told you before, and I'll tell you probably every time, that this glue makes it so forgiving. And in the craft world, it's nice to have some forgiveness. So I'm going to go ahead and set this, and I want you to notice that this is the opposite openings. So this is going to open on this side. Traditionally, a card will open from your right side going to the left, but we're going to stick this on the left side and go like that. We're going to crease it really nice and get ready for our next stamped image. And we'll see if we can let that dry. I'm going to crease this one down as well. Right here, I'm using my bone folder to help me with that. Now this is probably the trickiest part of this whole card. We're going to have to hold this down so that window is just right. I'm going to grab my Magenta Madness ink. I'm going to get that stamped up. Tap it just nicely. And hold it right about there. All right, that looks great. This one also has a filler stamp. So what I'll do with this one is I will take this and I will stamp it off, and then I will go ahead and make that for our flower instead of coloring it in. And it just gives a little bit more texture to it, which I love. So that is it for our stamping. Since I already stamped this one, let me go ahead and attach this to this part here. And this one doesn't need as much forgiveness, so I'm going to use my stamping seal. We'll get that going on the back side here. You can even use a Seal Plus because this one you'll want to have a little bit more adhesive as it's going to be our main base. We'll get that lined up just right on here. So you want to have a little bit of that magenta madness as our border. All right, our next part, I'm going to set that aside real quick, is our label. So we're going to make this about 1 inch. So I'm going to use some adhesive and I'm going to put them together to look like that. I'll just put some adhesive on the top of this with my seal. And before I use the fun sayings, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use now the wooden piece on this side. And actually, I'm going to try to use it. I don't know if you can see my grid here. So I'm going to use my grid lines down here below. So I know where to place this to get me to that 1 inch. These together will make that. And I'm going to have that peekaboo just a little bit over the top. Looks pretty good. We're going to flip it over. So just a little bit peeking through, and that's that DSP of the in colors. And then I'm going to stick it in my triple punch. Let me open it up though. I have it locked. There we go. Like this, I'll stick it in there. I'll check it out on this side, and I'll punch it out, and I have a perfect tailored edge. This one, I actually will use some dimensionals to pop it up. Extra. Dimensionals are one of my favorite products, and I probably use them in almost everything I make. They make a simple card into a more advanced and avid card, which everyone wants. Fancy, and that just popping up will do that. All right, so the last couple bits, let me show you. For the added embellishments, we need our Winka Stella, because she is my favorite. And we're just going to squeeze it a little bit and add some to our flower up here. So that way when she dries, she will glitter. And I can even add it like that a little bit. And this one, I'm pulling some of that color through from those splotches, but this one did not. Let me get it closer so you can see a little bit. Right there, we got some glitter, and it's helping move that color around. I love linen thread, and so I also use that in almost everything. And I pre-tied a bow, so you don't have to watch time. There's my little bow, and I'm going to go ahead and get my glue dot, and I stick my bow center to the glue dot, just like that, and I pull it off. With my nails, I just pinch it and put it where I want it. I have a cute bow there. And lastly, we just have these little gems. I'm using the gilded gems today, and they're the fun gold, and they have a couple different sizes. We're going to see how fancy I can be and use my take a pick tool. I usually use my nails, which are totally fine, but I want to, sometimes it's hard to use your fingernails if they're not the right size, or if you've broken a nail. There we go. This is actually working pretty nicely. Just to pick up that, and I'll do one more of the medium size, and I'll put it right down on the bottom. And there we go. That is our double open window card. Let me show you that one more time. As you open it up once, and then twice, and there it is. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you leave a comment in either the replay or on YouTube. And be sure to subscribe or like my Facebook page. Have a great day, everyone. Happy stamping.